Sorry. I'm just like trying to figure out how to work. Zoom always confuses me. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I know Zoom, like I have to use it for school and I'm like, I don't even know how to use this honestly still. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I know. It was definitely hard, like, especially when you had to do, like, group projects and stuff, like, over Zoom, like, oh my god, like, it was fine during lectures, like, sitting in my own room, like, I'm like, "Oh, this is awesome," until I had to do, like, group stuff, I'm like, "This is, like, a pain," like, it is yeah, and I'm like, I miss that, like, interaction of, like, classmates, and then I'm just like, Zoom is just not the same. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, and half the time you can't even see them because they have their, like, screen off, like, they have themselves like, you can't even see who they are, so, like, it's just so weird. Exactly. Exactly, just have, like, the names, I'm like, "Okay, cool," like, can't actually see what they look like, so, yeah, it was just, like, it's definitely so weird. Um, yeah. Yeah, I know, one of my professors, he had like a cat, and one time he was like, we were like in the middle of lecture, and he was like, "Oh, sorry, I was like, my cat's throwing up." Like, the cat just started like throwing up in the middle of lecture. I was like, "Okay, awesome." So, yeah, exactly, exactly. So it was like kind of just like midway, like entertainment through it. So kind of like pro, but then just like cats would like come in or like dogs. It's like yeah, it's just so funny. Zoom, yeah, interesting time. Maybe come September. Yeah, I don't know. Like some of my classes I didn't mind it being like online because I just had to like wake up and go to my desk. Yeah. But then other classes, I'm like, it was more of like I wanted to be like in person, like it was easier. It seemed easier than in person. So hopefully it'll be like that. But yeah, yeah. I don't know. I just think so. Yeah, I know. Me too. Anyways, Zoom. Yeah, exactly. Anyways, have a class. Oh, really? You know,
know. Yeah. So, 2 days in a row. Okay, guys. I'm gonna wait for this switch off. No balls. That's fine. You guys just lie on your backs and wait to the side. Your feet hip distance apart. Just relax. Find your neutral. I'll be right back. And you just do your weight sliders back, so you're all ready to those guys. Right.
Oh, we have 2 bags of sushi.
So feet, about a hip distance apart. Alright, take a nice couple of breaths, just find that neutral, your tailbone is heavy and tipped away from you. Your waistlines are nice and long. Upper body's nice and quiet, so feel the back of that rib cage staying heavy, getting a little bit heavier. Collarbones are wide at the front of your body. Tailbone is that little bit heavy and tipped away from you. You've got that little space behind your lumbar spine. From there, just turn your palms to face up so you're open across your chest and your collarbones. Let's go for a little press through our heels. We're going to lift our hips right towards the ceiling so we go rolling up. Take a nice breath at the top. Feel your knees reaching away from the top of your head. And then slowly roll down all the way nice and controlled until you're down in neutral. Take a breath there. Waistlines are nice and long again. And then do that again. So press through your heels. Shortening those waistlines. Press through your heels as you lift. Breath. Get slow and controlled. Let's roll back. Neutral. Go 2 more like that. Getting as much movement through your spine as you can on the way up. Holding in the nice long line, knees reaching from the top of your head. Keep them reaching as you roll. You'll be neutral. And then 1 more like this. Belly button towards your spine. Press through those heels. Lift those hips. And then stay at the top. So knees reaching away from the top of your head. If you want, you can grab your weights. You don't have to try and reach your arms up with weights or no weights, doesn't matter. So shoulder blades still flat against the mat. We're going to open our arms wide to the sides, and then we're going to press back up. So arms open out, ribs stay tight around your center, waistline stay long. Keep that pressure through your heels as you open. Keep that pressure through your heels as you reach your arms back up. Now drop your hips as you open your arms, and then press those hips back up, arms back up as well. Inhale down, ribs and hips come down together, and then exhale, press. Lowering with control, and up. Now let's just open our right arm to the side, lower those hips, and press, and then just your left. Right arm is reaching up, and press. Go right again, lower, and lift, and then left, press. 1 more right, and all the way. 1 more left, press all the way up, and then roll right down, right back down, through to neutral, and then keep your arms there. So keep your shoulder blades flat against the mat. From here, you're going to reach your arms overhead, and then press them back to the ceiling. So your arms reach overhead, your ribs don't lift, nothing else in your body changes as those arms reach, or as they press back. So really like that, keeping that nice neutral pelvis, tailbone stays heavy. 2 more like this, inhaling back as you come up, and then 1 more. Reach. Press all the way back up, and then stay. All right, now from here, even weight in your hips, keep those arms reaching up. You're going to bring your right leg to tabletop. So knee above your hip, even weight in your hips. If you want to, you can lift, if you want like an extra little challenge, you can lift your left heel, so you're just on your tippy toes, hardly any weight into that left foot if you want that extra bit of core. Now from here, you're going to reach your right leg long. So think about a nice long line toes, reaching away from the top of your head. We're going to add arms in a sec here. So right toes reach, even weight in your hips. Pull back. And now add those arms. So arms reach overhead, toes, right toes reach in front, and then come back. And again. So reaching. If you feel your back, or if you feel that you cannot cannot stay balanced from right to left in your body, just lower your left heel, that's fine. Reach and forward, reach and reach. Go for 2. Lengthen those waistlines and last one, reaching out. Lower your right toes down, lower those heels. You can take a breath. You're the best. Thank you. Okay, keep those shoulder blades flat against the mat. Hold, stay nice and wide. We're gonna lift our left heel up. Lift that left leg to tabletop. Remember, you can keep your right foot heavy, or you can keep it a little bit lighter if you want that extra bit of core. We're gonna reach our left leg just straight out, toes away from the top of your head, and then pull back in. So more than anything, think about how your pelvis is staying still as that leg moves away. Now add those arms if you want. Reach your arms overhead and leg in front. Doesn't matter how low you go. Reaching and in. 5, straight out and in. 4, abs deepen as you reach in with that same control. Go for 3. In. Last 2, reach. And back, and then go one more, all the way out. And right back in. Lower those left toes down. Lower both heels with one heel. And then lower your arms all the way down. Good job, guys. Okay. Now from here, keep those feet about hip distance apart. We're going to come back to that little imprint. Press into your heels, lift your hips. Take a nice breath there. Lift your heels nice and high. Stand on your toes in a hip roll. Roll all the way down. Keep those heels lifted as you roll down. All the way. Knees stay about hip distance apart. Come back to neutral. And then do it again. So even weight through each of your toes as you lift. Keep that weight nice. Keep your weight nice and even as you lower. Slowly and control the lowering with your heels, with your heels. You're ready. Go 4 more. Like this. Last 2. All the way up. Now play on down. And then stay at the bottom. You can drop your heels down. Now reach over, grab that ball. Open arms, reach. Okay, grab your ball. It's gonna go underneath your right foot. Make sure your feet are lined up. Upper body is nice and quiet. So keep those waistlines long. You want your pelvis to not tip one way or the other. You're gonna stay neutral as you press into your left heel and lift your hips up. So hold when you're there. So hips are lifting, your right hip and ribs are going to want to drop. You're not going to let them. You're going to keep a little bit of pressure through your left heel and your left big toe as you reach your right leg away. So slide the ball away and then pull it back in. So as you roll the ball away, your hips kind of want to drop. Your right hip really wants to drop. Don't let it. So keep pressure through that left heel, left big toe as you reach your right leg and as you pull it. You've got to keep those waistlines long for 4 and pull back. Then go for 3, reach. And then don't let that right hip drop. 2. And in. 1 more, reach. Pull back and stay. So your right foot is still a little light on the ball. Drop your hips down, almost touch the mat, and then press straight up. So now your glute, that left glute is moving. Inhale down. Exhale as you press. Inhale as you lower. Think about your left inner thigh squeezing towards your midline as you lift. Go 4, 3, press. Last 2, press. Last 1, press up, and then roll all the way down. Come through to neutral and stay. All right, pop that ball under your left foot now. Stay there. So waistline's again along. You're in that neutral. Upper body's nice and quiet. From here, keeping your neutral, press through your right heel and lift your hips. Under. So keep that pressure through your right heel and right big toe. Hips stay nice and lifted as you send your leg away on the ball. And then pull back in. It doesn't matter how high your hips are. Just don't let them lift and lower. Try to keep them nice and even as you reach your leg and as you pull in.
How do we find her? There she is. You're welcome.
Hillary, I'm sorry. You ready? Let's do one more, guys. Reach away. Bring that leg back in, and then slowly, don't go down. I almost left this card for you. Slowly drop your hips down, almost touch the mat, and then press right out. So inhale as you lower, your hips stay level, they lower together. Exhale as you press. So if all you feel is your right hamstring just screaming at you, bring your right heel a little closer to your bum so you can get more into your glute. Inhale down and press. Keep those ribs tight around your center for 4. You do 3 more. You can do it. Last 2. Last 1. Press up and then slowly roll all the way down. Back to neutral and stay. Good job, guys. Okay, grab that ball, pop it between your inner thighs. The ball, a little bit of a squeeze there. And then let's bring your hands behind our head. So elbows cover up the mat a little bit. You're looking to the ceiling right now. You're going to tuck your chin in just slightly and then curl up to flexion. So looking towards your squishy ball when you're up. Remember, when you're up in flexion, your tailbone is tipping away from you. You're not gripping your glutes and pressing your low back down. You're staying neutral. Now from here, squeeze that ball nice and tight and then slowly roll down. All the way back to the mat. Hold when you're at the bottom. You can release your inner thighs and then do that again. So start with that chin tucking in. Exhale as you curl forward. Staying at the top there. Let's squeeze that ball again. Upper inner thighs. Keep the squeeze as you lower all the way down. Release those inner thighs. And again, tuck your chin. Exhale. Really feel your ribs sliding down towards the top of those hip bones. Take a breath when you're there. Squeeze those inner thighs. Slow and hold it down. And then we're going to come up one more time and stay. Release your inner thighs here. Tuck your chin. Exhale. Curl forward. Staying there. So now, can you feel your glutes are relaxed? They shouldn't be squeezing. They shouldn't be gripping. They're just, your pelvis is neutral. Your glutes are relaxed. Your upper body is curling forward. You're just going to squeeze the ball. Inner thighs squeeze and release. So it's not glutes as you squeeze, it's inner thighs. Exhale, use that breath, squeeze and release. So go 4 like this. And release. Go for 3. Curling forward 2. Last one, hold that little squeeze and then slowly let's roll all the way down. Come back to neutral and stay when you're there. Okay. Now let's lift up our heels. Keep those heels that little bit lifted. You can bring your hands down by your side. So you're light, you just have a light touch on the ground. You're going to bring your right leg to tabletop. So knee above your hip. Keep that ball squeezed in there and then bring your left leg up as well. So knees approximately on top of your hips. If you feel your back or you feel like you're just going into an arch, Bring your knees closer to your chest, that is okay. Otherwise, try and keep them on top of your hips. Now from here, back to inner thighs. So upper body is going to stay quiet as you squeeze your inner thighs around that ball. Squeeze nice and tight. And then little release. So inner thighs are moving. Your low abs are holding your legs in this nice tabletop position. So you can probably feel how they work together, your inner thighs and abs. And control. You're going to go more. Control. Exhale. 3, 2, and then one more. Go for that little squeeze. Stay with your legs, with your inner thighs squeezing. Move your thighs 1 inch away from you, and then bring them back that same little inch. So 1 inch away, pause, and then 1 inch back in. As your legs move away, those abs have to work a little bit harder, right? You don't think you need to go far to feel that. 3, if you feel your back, don't go as far. You can just hold it as well. 2, inner thighs, abs, and back. Last one. Bring those legs back in. Lower your right toes down, left toes, lower those heels. Grab your ball, pop it off to the side. Hug your knees into your chest. Just have a little roll one way. And the other. All right. And then let's come on to our sides. So we're going to start with our heels underneath our bums. Let's line our left sides. Left sides. Long waistline, so your left ribs are staying a little bit lifted off the mat. Your right waistline is really nice and long. Got it. And then reach your right leg. So heels can be underneath your bum-ish, and then your body is neutral, so your waistline stay long. Tailbone is sticking out that little bit behind you, so you're not tucking. And then just reach your right leg straight out underneath you. So really reach your toes across the room. You got it. So start with circles. You're just going to circle your leg around. They just don't need to be big. Think stability through your core as you circle your leg. Your thigh bone is circling in your hip socket. Your pelvis is staying still for 4, for 3, 2, and hold, and then go the other way. So again, it's just that smooth little movement. You're reaching as you circle your waistline. Stay long. Go 4, 3, 2, last one, and then stay. Now from here, you're going to draw little rainbows. Toes down to the front edge of your mat. Lift, and toes down to the back edge. So don't worry about making a tall rainbow. Make a wide rainbow without letting your hips move. So you're going to go up and forward, and then up and back. As you're doing this, your pelvis is staying still, right? If you cannot keep your pelvis still, make those rainbows smaller. And back. Stability is the most important thing there. Yeah, so having a hand on your hip is nice to kind of feel what's going on. And down, you've got one more each way. Back. And then hold in the middle, so you're reaching your toes across the room. You ready? You're going to do U. So upside down rainbows, up and then up. As you're doing that, again, your pelvis stays still. Doesn't matter how big your U is. And up. Good. Up and up. Go for 4 each way. And up. 3. And up. Last 2, little lift, no swinging, lower and lift. Last one, up and then bend that leg right in and take a breath. Awesome. Okay, so now from here, you're gonna lift your heels up, so your knees point down. Keeping your hips pretty still. Keep your heels together. You're gonna lift your top leg up. Hold when you're there, and then just slow control it down. So lifting, that's your outer glute, your right outer glute working. Think about how your core is stabilizing as you do that. So core deepens that little bit, lift your leg, and then slow control back. Up. You could go through this whole exercise and not use your core, right? But we're not going to do that. Make everything into a core exercise. Maybe my game. And slow. 2 more. Abs deepen as you lift. Get that little extra control. Last one. Lift up and then stay. Now lift up 1 more inch. Just a little squeeze and release. Little squeeze. You're hardly moving. Little squeeze 5. Little squeeze 4. Little squeeze 3. 2. Last 1. And then lower all the way. And then lower those heels down as well. Okay, now grab your squish ball. Bend your right knee and let it rest on top of the ball, and then straighten your left leg. So now we'll get into our left inner thigh. So still thinking about our core here. So our left ribs are going to stay a little bit lifted. Our waistlines are really nice and long. Left toes are reaching away from the top of our head. And then we're going to lift that left leg up. So hold there. You can keep your right heel lifted if you want. That's going to be a little more glute. If your glute is just killing you, can keep your foot down. Doesn't matter. Okay, so lift your left leg up nice and high without letting your left ribs press down. Or yeah, left ribs. And then slowly lower your leg back down. Exhale as you lift and inhale as you lower. Exhale, little squeeze. Inhale, control. So each time you lift your left leg, your left ribs definitely want to press down. So if you can't keep your left ribs lifted, don't lift your leg as high. Doesn't matter. Think about that stability, little squeeze, and down. And your head is nice and heavy on your left arm. If you feel tension in your neck, don't lift your leg as high. Lower your right leg to release a little bit of pressure there. And control over 2. Last one, lift up and then stay there. Now circle this leg around. So just smooth little circles. Thinking about that left waistline staying long as you circle. Got it. 4, 3. Last 2. Last one, go the other way. Smooth little circles. Left rib stay lifted. Got it. 4, 3, 2. Last 1, and then lower all the way down. Job, guys. Okay, come onto your backs. Give your the soles of your feet a little squeeze together, like their knees just open out. Take a couple of breaths there for that inner thigh. One more nice big breath here. And bring your legs back together. Pop your right foot in front of your left knee. Hug behind that left knee so you can just give your right glute a little stretch. Let's flip. We're going to do the same on the other side. So you'll be on your right side this time. Start with your heels underneath your glutes. There. Right ribs are staying a little bit lifted. We'll use our ball for the inner thigh bit, so keep it sort of handy. You're going to reach your left leg straight out underneath you. So really, really thinking length. You're reaching your toes away from the top of your head. Your right ribs are staying that little bit lifted off the mat. You're going to start with those little circles. As you're circling your leg, remember how your hips want to move. Don't let them. Keep those ribs tight around your center. Keep your right ribs that little bit lifted. And constantly reach your toes, right? You're reaching your left toes away from the top of your head. Really exaggerating that waistline. You're ready? One more there. And then go the other way. So it doesn't matter at all how big the circle is, right? Stability through your center. Your pelvis is staying still. Got it. 4, 3. Last 2. Last 1, and then hold. So now from here, we're going to do our rainbow. So toes down to the front edge of your mat, and then lift and bring your toes down to the back edge of the mat. So as you're moving that leg, nothing else in your body really changes. Keep that pelvis still. Up and down. You got it. Up and down. Up and down. And up and down. Yeah, good. 3. Down. Go for 2. That core nice and connected. Keep that right side of your rib cage lifted. Last 1, and then hold in the middle. So toes reaching away. Let's go for you. So up at the front edge of the mat, and then up at the back edge. Up at the front edge, and up at the back. You're going to do 6 more like this. Up with a pause. Up with a pause. 5. Up. And up. 4 more. Up. And up. 3. Those abs are helping. Go for 2. Last 1. Up. And then bend all the way in. Okay, so take a good. And then lift your heels up. Keep your heels a little bit lifted. Keep those waistlines long, hips stay stacked, and then just clamshell that knee up. So get them nice and high, keeping your hips still, and then slow and controlled back down. So with your feet up, it's a little more unsteady, right? So a little bit more core required to keep you from tipping one way or the other. So really feel how that kind of plays into it. Your knee lifts, your core deepens, and then slow and controlled come down. Knee lifts, core deepens, slowly coming back down. Get to your high point each time, right? Get right up there. And control. Right up there. And control. Resist. You've got 3. Last 2. And down, last 1. Stay at the top. You go up 1 extra inch, little squeeze, and down, little squeeze, and down. Go for 6. And 5, 4, 3, last 2, last 1, and then come all the way down. Okay, squishy ball is going to go under your left knee now, but core left foot is still going to have to stabilize a little bit. Right leg is straight underneath you, so really reach through your toes. Think of your waistline staying long. Your right ribs are going to want to press down. You're not going to let them. Left hand on that hip, kind of pulling that left waistline nice and long. And remember, you can lift up your left foot if you want. You keep it down, whatever feels good. So lift that right leg up just as high as you can. Hold when you're there, and then slow, just lower to a hover. Get it up again. Squeeze. And then lower. So just watch that you have all really good, actually. You're not sickling your foot, like leading with your toes to come up. Think about leading with your thigh. So your thigh lifts and your thigh lowers. It feels really different than leading with your toes. Squeeze that thigh up and control. Go for 5 more. Squeeze. Control. 4 more. Squeeze. Control. 3. Down. Last 2. Control. And then go 1 more squeeze up and stay. Now from here, you're going to circle this leg around. So just smooth little circles. Keep your body nice and still. 5. 4. Remember, if you feel tension in your neck, let your left foot come down for sure. Try and relax your shoulders, your neck, let your head be heavy on that arm. 2. Last 1, go the other way. So again, just that smooth little movement. Upper body is relaxed. 4, 3, 2, last 1, and then just lower all the way down. Okay, and then come onto your back, guys. Give your feet a little squeeze together again, let those knees fall open. Take a nice couple of breaths there. big breath there. And then let's pop our left foot in front of our right knee. That was such wrong. I just turned around. There we go. Left foot in front of right knee. Hug that right knee and tight, open that left out nice and wide. And then just straighten your legs out in front of you. So feet can be about hip distance apart. Grab your squishy ball in your hands. So you don't need to squeeze or anything, just hold it in there. And then press those shoulder blades down against the mat. So you're nice and open across your chest and your collarbones. You're neutral through your pelvis. Toes are reaching. Now we're going to reach our arms overhead. So reach your arms way back overhead. Just notice if your back arches, don't keep those ribs tight around your center, and then just bring your arms back up. So go for a couple just arms. Arms move, nothing else changes. As your arms reach overhead, your toes reach away from those fingertips. And back up. We're gonna go one more like that. So arms reach back overhead. Now from here, you're gonna bring your arms up towards the ceiling. As they come up, tuck your chin. You're gonna come into full roll up, so reaching out towards your toes. Stack when you're there. Nice and tall, and then roll back. So you're gonna roll all the way, shoulders away from your ears as you roll down, your toes reaching away from the top of your head. Ball reaches back, take a breath, and then do that again. So tucking your chin as your arms come forward, all the way reaching your toes away. Stack back up nice and tall, and then do that back. Rolling all the way. Shoulders away from your ears, reach those arms back overhead. Do one more like that, tucking your chin. And then stack up tall, up the ball of your back, and you're still tall. Okay, give it a little bit of a squeeze, you have a little bit of tension there, and then slowly just go for a little scoop back. So rolling back, the ribs stay tight around your center. Your belly button is pulling in that little bit, so you're not here, you're back here, right? So your collarbones stay wide, shoulders are nice and low. Okay, you're gonna bring your arms up to the ceiling, and then bring them down. So if when your arms go up, your body changes, if you just scoop back too far, you want to be able to keep your body still as your arms move. Go two more like that. Give the ball a little squeeze as you press, as you put that. And then go one more like that, squeeze, hold, now arms wide. And again, give that ball a little squeeze, a little bit of tension. And press. Two more like this, ribs stay tight around your center. Ready, one more. And up, and then roll all the way down. So reach your arms forward as you roll. Your legs bend up a little bit, reach those arms overhead. Take a breath. You ready? We're going to come up from here. If you need to straighten your legs a little more as you come up, that's totally fine. If not, try with your knees bent. It's harder. Tuck your chin, curling forward. Give the ball a little bit of squeeze as you roll up. You're going to stack up nice and tall. Take a breath when you're there, and then roll back. Give that ball a little squeeze as you roll. Reach those arms overhead. We're going to come up again, start with those inner thighs, give them a squeeze, tuck your chin, deepen those abs as you're rolling up, you're working the whole time. Stack yourself up here. Now from here, you're going to come back again. Belly button is fine, you're not going to come the whole way down, just a half roll. Stay there. Shoulders away from your ears, so just right arm to the side. And then in left, keep those waistlines long. And in. So as your arm opens, give them all a little extra squeeze. And then back and go left, squeeze, and back. One more right, and in, one more left, squeeze, back in, and then roll all the way down, slow and control, reaching those fingertips back overhead. And when you're there, you're gonna come up one more time, we're gonna stay up. Oops. This time, tuck that chin, squeeze that ball. Stack up nice and tall, and then stay right there. Okay, grab that ball, pop it off to the side. You're gonna come onto your left elbow. You're gonna come down into this sort of a position. So you can either, I give you two options. You can either be on, you're gonna come into a little side plank. So you can either come up to your knees like this. If you wanna do the full version, have your left foot in front of your right toes kind of touch your left heel. All right, left elbow underneath your left shoulder, so that stays lined up, and then just press and lift. So either here or on your knees. There. Awesome. Okay, so now reach your right arm up to the ceiling. So really feel those fingertips reaching away from your left elbow. Keep that left hip lifted. Now from here, just lower your right arm to shoulder height, and then lift back up. So don't change anything else in your body. Go for 5 more like that. Inhale down. Exhale, lift. The top of your head reaches away from your heels. 4, and lift. Ribs stay tighter at your center. 3, and lift. Last 2. Stay nice and long. Last 1. Lift on up. Stay there. Now lower your hips just a couple of inches, and then lift them a couple. Doesn't need to be big. Inhale down. Pick that left hip up. You've got 5, 4, 3, keep those hips nice and stacked up. Last 2, last 1, right up, and then lower all the way. Okay, now come to a 4-point kneel. We're gonna keep going with those left obliques a little bit. So hands under your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. All right, so nice long waistline. We're gonna start with just a little cat-cow. So drop your tail, scoop those abs around in your spine. As you come into that little cat stretch, really let that head hang. Give a little shake of the knees, and then come all the way out. And then do that again. Drop that tail, scoop those abs around in your spine. In. Go one more like that. Tuck that chin. In. Right back through in that flat back position. Now from here, without letting your weight shift to the left, so this is where our left obliques come into things. You're going to kick your right leg out. Right, and then lift your right leg up. So your weight, it's really easy to shift your weight to the left. That's where it wants to go. Try not to. Left knee under your left hip, left obliques are working the whole time. If you want, you can add an arm to this. We can reach our fingertips away from our toes. Now from there, we're going to come back into that little scoop we were just in, round your back, pull in, and then go all the way back out. Make sure that right hand is under your right shoulder. Do that again, scoop and round. And then all the way out. Go for 4. And reach. 3 more. Scooping, rounding that back. Reach. Last 2. One more like this. In. Reach all the way out. Bring that hand in. Bring that leg in. Sit back to a shell stretch. Your wrists a little twist. Right, guys, and then back up. So hands back under your shoulders, knees back under your hips. We're going to keep thinking about our left obliques, moving our right side. So now bend your left arm. So left elbow underneath your left shoulder. All right. Hips want to shift to the left. We're not going to let them, right? You're going to kick your right leg out again. Lift it up. This time you can get a little bit higher because you're down on this angle. So the top of your head reaches away from your right toes. Keep pressure, the constant pressure through your left knee to keep those left obliques engaged. Now just lower your right toes. You can almost touch the mat and then lift back up. So inhale as you lower and then exhale as you lift. So constantly reaching your toes back behind you. Look down towards your left wrist, so not straight down, but tuck that chin in a little bit. And each time I'm lifting my right leg, I'm pressing into my left knee to keep that left side body engaged. Left obliques, right? 3, 2, last one, let's lift up. Okay, now immediately rotate your right leg. Your knee comes to the outside of your left knee, and then laterally rotate it as you kick up nice and high. So immediately rotate it, pulling in without letting your weight shift to the left, right? Don't let your weight shift left. That's the whole thing. Right knee comes across, but your weight doesn't shift left, and reach. In with control, and reach. Last 2, last 1, and out, and then bend that leg in, sit all the way back. Aim for a little shell stretch. Right. When you're ready, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So we're going to start with our side planks. Right elbow under your right shoulder. Remember, totally fine to do this on your knees. If not, have your feet just lined up one in front of the other, bottom leg forward. Okay. Right elbow stays under that right shoulder as you lift. So really picking that right waistline up, you can reach your left arm up to the ceiling. You can just hold here. You don't even need to do the arm if you don't want to. Hold or lower that left arm to shoulder height, and then lift straight back up to the ceiling. So feeling that your neck is staying long, right? The top of your head is reaching away from your heels. Inhale down and up. Keep those hips nice and lifted. So that's an isometric hold. We've got 4, 3. Those hips stack. 2. Good job, guys. 1 more. Keep pressing through that right elbow. Lower those hips an inch or 2 and up. Lower an inch or 2. Pick that right hip up. We've got 5, 4, 3. Very good. 2. Last 1. Up and then lower all the way. Very good. Come to a 4-point kneel. Hands under your shoulders. We'll go right into that cat-cow. Knees under your hips, hands under your shoulders. Drop that tail, scoop, and then come all the way out. Lengthening back. And then do that again. Drop that tail, scoop around, really round that back with that heavy. One more like that, dropping your tail. All the way out. And then come back to neutral and stay when you're there. So the top of your head is reaching away from your tailbone. Your waistlines are nice and long. You're going to start with your left leg this time. So remember, your weight's going to want to shift to the right as much as this is about your left glute. It's also about your right obliques. So kick your left leg out, lift it up without letting your weight shift right. So even take a peek down. Is your right knee under your right hip? That's where it should be, right? And then from there, if you want, you can add that right arm. So right fingertips reach from your left toes. From here, scoop as you pull your knee and your arm back in. 3 or 4, and reach. All the way in. Now lift. All the way down. Deepen. As you come in, Keep that right inner thigh squeezing towards your midline. Last one. All the way out. Bring that hand in, bring that knee in. Stick yourself back to a little shallow stretch. Awesome. Okay. And then come back up. Now we will bring our right elbow down. Fingertips are going to reach across. All right. So right elbow approximately under your right shoulder. Your waistlines are long. You're going to kick your left leg out straight out behind you and then lift it up. So reach out through your toes. Remember, you're looking down towards your right wrist, not straight down. So you want that neck to stay long. Lift that left leg nice and high and then just tap those toes down. So just for this first one, just a little more simpler movement, really concentrate on what's happening with your right side body. So is your right knee staying directly under that right hip? You really want it to. So each time, like we were saying on the other side, each time I lift my left leg, I press my right knee into the mat that little bit to connect to that right side body. Two more like this. One more, lift right up, stay there. Now from here, medially rotate that left leg. Bend it into the outside of your right, and then laterally rotate as you kick up nice and high. So that's a medial rotation as you come in. So easy to let your hip shift to the right as you bend your left leg in, right? Correct, I should say correct. Too many rights. In and out. Bending in as you kick out, press through that right knee, even through the top of that right foot. Two more. One more. In, press all the way out, and then bend that leg in. Sit back to that shallow stretch again. Okay. And then from there, walk those hands back out again. So hands under your shoulders, knees under your hips. We're going to kick our right foot back. So we're going to keep a little plank. Right foot, right heel reaches away from the top of your head there. And then press through those palms as you extend your left leg back as well. So left heels reach away from the top of your head. Let's tuck your chin in that little bit. Scoop those abs as you press back to that downward dog. So only when you're there, you can walk those feet out. Really press one heel down as you bend the other, keeping your pelvis nice and still for 3. For 2. Drop both heels down nice and low, take a breath. Right up. And then come back into that plank. Back all the way forward. Step your right foot in between your hands. Drop your left knee down a bit. Hang there for a little, and then lunge out. Letting your left hip flexor have a nice stretch up there. Take a nice couple of breaths. Up and down. And then step your left hand down beside your right foot. Reach your right arm up to the ceiling. So have that nice little twist. Really feel your right fingertips reaching away from that left palm. Collarbones are as wide as they can be. You're nice and open across your chest. And then bring that right hand down. Pop your left knee down to the side. So walk it in. Drop her down, and then hang that little pigeon. body. Give that right hip a little stretch with your exhales. Just really think of relaxing through that hip. Think a little deeper. And walk those hips back. Throw those left toes under. Right toes back. Turn that plank again. Tuck your chin. Press back. Start over again. So we'll lift our left leg up towards the ceiling. Step it in. Drop your right knee down. So right hip flexor, having that little stretch out. Then you can step your right hand down. Reach your left arm up. With a nice little twist. And step your left hand, oops, drop your left knee. It's gonna open up to the side. So that little fidget there. And just letting the weight of your body deepen that stretch as you exhale. Just letting go of any tension in that hip. Gonna sink a little deeper. And then drop those right toes under. Walk those hands back under your shoulders. Step your left foot back. Tuck that chin. Press all the way back to that downward dog again. Press out. You're coming back into that plank, so you're going to come all the way back, hanging in that nice long line of your plank. So top of your head reaches from your heels, and then just drop your knees down. Extend your legs out, and then just lower all the way. All right, so your hands are going to be as wide as the mat. I'm going to finish with off with a little back stretch and extension here. So hands wide, legs as wide as the mat as well. Here. Okay. So nose hovers off the mat. So remember, when we're in extension, we're not looking forward, we're just thinking length through our spine instead of like curling back. So just palm pressing gently into the mat. Your ribs are tight around your core. Your ribs are tight around your body. Your core is engaged. And then think of just leading with your nose as you lift your upper body slightly off the mat, reaching the top of your head away from your toes when you're there. And then just slow and controlled melt back down. Ribs are heavy all the way down until that nose hovers off the mat again. Let's do that again. So shoulders are wide, ribs are tight around your center, your core engages. Lead with your nose a little bit, lifting through your upper back. The top of your head reaches from those toes. Notice that your shoulders are creeping up to your ears. Try to keep them away. Keep those ribs tight around your center. And then again, just slowly melt all the way down until your nose covers off the mat. We're going to do one more, like that, collarbones wide, ribs tighten up around your center. Core is engaged as you lead with your nose. And then let's stay there. So really feeling the top of your head reach from your toes, reach a little further if you can. And lift up your elbows. So you just have your fingertips on the mat or on the ground. If you feel okay there and you want to lift your fingers, let's go for that as well. And hold. Now here, your body is as long as it can be. You're going to reach your hands forward just slightly. Keep your body long. And then pull your elbows back in. So Now when your arms go forward, you can lower your body slightly. You're still super nice and long. And then pull your elbows in and extend through that upper back. 2 more like this. Slowly lower it to a hover. One more. Inhale down. Exhale up. Lower your fingertips. Lower your upper body all the way down. And then press back to a shelf. One more time. Weight back into those heels. And walk your hands over to the right side of your mat. So really reach out with your left fingertips. Your left hip stays nice and heavy. Walk those hands over to the left side of your mat. Right hip stays heavy as you really reach through your right fingertips this time. And walk those hands back to center. Just come back to a 4-point kneel. Step your right foot back, left foot back, right back to that downward dog. Heels nice and low, and then walk those hands into your feet. Hang in that forward fold. Give your shoulders nice and roll out, and then press down through your heels as you come all the way back to standing. Push, and shake out. Feel good? Awesome.
Thanks, Hillary.